So I'm glad you brought up the whole idea of like the older attorney, younger attorney, because you see a lot of times where either an attorney brings on an associate and they like the natural next step at some point is to make them a partner, or um they they want to kind of get out and they want to bring on them as a partner to kind of have them take over the firm. What sort of steps should they take from a strategic standpoint, a legal standpoint, to make sure that one, they protect themselves as a business owner, but then also to make that transition in a way that benefits both sides?
So this is a rabbit hole here. This could be a full day podcast on this topic alone.
Okay.
And so it's an art, not a science. I'll start with that. And it's I've seen all scenarios. I do a lot of this stuff too. And so oftentimes an older attorney says, "Yeah, I want to hang it up and I want to give it to you," but they really don't. They can't let go. And part of it is their identity is just caught up in practicing law. So they may go to the young attorney and they may mean it. They say, I want you to take over in a couple years. And then a couple years go by and they're like, just a couple more. And then a couple, and so that sort of situation can be a big deal. And I sort of tell that story because I think and a very important part of it is the person that is sort of stepping back and letting somebody else take over. They have to, in their mind, be ready to let go. They have to know what their next chapter is. And if they're not there mentally, no matter what you do, planning, all that kind of discussions, it's just never going to work. And if you make promises and you don't keep them, the young attorney is going to leave. And then you're really, really screwed. I've seen some situations where the older attorney doesn't have anybody to hand it off to, and they really want to, and they've been looking, and maybe the person they thought leaves, and so they're stuck without anybody. So, I mean, there's lots to talk about there, but from my perspective, the best advice I would give is really, think about it as soon as you can. Don't wait till 6 months before. I think I was on LinkedIn today. Somebody asked that question. I think a minimum 3 years. You gotta, I think. But ideally, you'd be thinking about it from the beginning. So, I mean, Tyson, you're young. You could be going a long time if you want. I mean, you could hang it up if you want to, probably. But now's the time really to think about it, because the decisions you make and the way you design your firm now can have outsized impacts 10, 15 years from now. And that includes sort of, lead generation, your ops, who you bring in, all those sorts of things.